Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's SJ. This is our bye week. There's honestly not too much happening right now, but the trade deadline's coming up November 2nd. I'm really curious to see if we end up making a move before that. There's been a ton of rumors swirling around, so I want to take a look at that real quick. We also went out and released Willie Snead. That was kind of a head scratcher for me. It's not that I disagree with the move. I'm just curious to see what we're going to do moving forward with that because we're only carrying four wide receivers at this point. Finally, I just want to touch on Rich Bisaccia for a second, just kind of get your guys' opinions on it. I know it's a little bit early to make a call already. I just want to see if you guys think he could remain as the head coach of this team moving forward. But we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into this. If you are new to the channel, if you think about subscribing, that really does help me out. And thank y'all very much. I hit 4,000 subscribers. That blows my damn mind. I really do appreciate it. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. This channel is all about talking Raider football and not wasting any time. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight into this. We're going to start off with Willie Snead. The fact that the Raiders only have four wide receivers is a bit shocking to me. Most teams carry five, some even carry six, but the fact that we only have four kind of had me scratching my head as to if this is going to be one of those moves that we end up pulling for a trade. As soon as we released Willie Snead, my first honest thought was we're going after Odell. I highly doubt that is going to happen, but I will tell you right now, we have four players on this team on pace to be over 800 yards this season. I will take four 800-yard receivers over 1,000-yard receiver any day of the week. I'm really curious to see what we end up doing with it because releasing Willie Snead and then not doing anything after that, we have a fully open active roster spot right now. I know we went out and signed Wims to our practice squad. I'm not going to lie, I really like that kid, but I do not see him making an immediate impact on this roster. We also have Dylan Stoner and DJ Turner sitting on that practice squad. I was curious to see if one of those guys would be activated, not necessarily on game day, but just kind of activated to the roster to fill that void, just to get in those practice reps and see like if he could be that dude to take over that fifth spot or maybe take over the kick return duties. And I really think DJ Turner could be that guy to take over like kick returns and possibly punt returns, keep Hunter Renfrow fresh throughout a game. It seems like he's really getting more and more involved in this offense, and maybe they want to get him off punt returns so somebody else can fill that void for him. I was really expecting Willie Snead to have a bigger impact on this offense than he actually did. But for whatever reason, that shit did not work out for us. It was kind of upsetting to see. But Willie Snead, best of luck to you moving on. Hopefully somebody will pick you up. I guarantee they will because you're a huge red zone threat coming out of that slot spot. Maybe you and Carr just never formed that rapport. Maybe this offense just wasn't built for somebody of your style. I'm not going to bash on you. Best of luck to you, man. All right, next, and this one will be quick. I just want to talk about Rich Bisaccia for a second. And do you think he will remain the head coach of this team after this season? I know we've seen an extremely small sample size right now, and the only reason I'm asking this question is because I read an article earlier, and it was Mike Mayock, and this is before he was the GM of this team. Long story short, these guys had no real connection at this point. He said that Bisaccia was the #1 special teams coach that he would pound the table for in order for him to be a head coach. It was a super old article, but I really did think it was cool. And just seeing how it all kind of came together for these guys. In my honest opinion, I think if the Raiders do not make the playoffs, there is a 0% chance that he remains the head coach. But I will tell you right now, if Bisaccia takes us to the playoffs and he wins 1 or 2 games, he will probably end up being the head coach of this team moving forward. And from what I've seen so far, you keep your defensive coordinator. As much as I hate to say it, you keep Greg Olsen around because him and Carr seem to work pretty well together. I know I've given that dude a ton of shit, and I'm not going to take anything back from what I did say, but I really think Carr is kind of in charge right now, and Olsen's just kind of helping him game plan. But when you have a veteran quarterback with a mind like Carr, you go ahead and just kind of play that out and just see where it takes you. And so far, it's looking pretty damn good. And Gus Bradley just continues to build his powerhouse defense on the opposite side. It seems like a win-win situation, so I'm honestly pulling for this. The coaching staff really doesn't change. The players are actually able to continue in the same sort of system moving forward, and everything pans out to this team becoming the dynasty that it's supposed to be. So just hit me up. I know it's super early. I just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on it. I could already tell you, I know the majority of the comments are going to say, I'll tell you after the next 4 weeks, Joku. And I totally get that because besides that Giants game, the 3 weeks after that is going to be a shit show. And we have some incredibly hard games coming up through that stretch. But as long as we're 6-2 going into that 3-game stretch, if we come out of it at 7-4, I am extremely happy with that. And I guarantee you we will beat one of those 3 teams. And then coming off our bye week, we should be able to roll this depleted Giant squad. If we do not, I promise you it's going to lead to a 4-game losing streak, and everybody's going to be like, this is all bullshit. We all knew this was going to happen. I do not think that is going to. But if we lose that Giants game, be ready. That's all I'm saying. Finally, the trade deadline is coming up November 2nd. I'm really curious to see if we end up making a move or not. There's been a few players' names thrown around, so I just wanted to jump into a few of them real quick. We'll start with Mariota. He's one of the bigger names that I've seen kind of be thrown around as far as these trades being made. I do not want to see Mariota leave this team. I really think he's going to end up staying. I think he's going to end up taking a bigger role in this offense moving forward, not taking over as the starter, but just being able to showcase what he has in order to be able to be picked up by somebody next season and have a shot at being a starting QB again. Because at the end of the day, that is all that kid wants. I really think he's going to finish out his time in Vegas, especially since we are looking damn good right now. I would be shocked if he ended up leaving this roster, and if he did, it would be something decent in return, because there are a few teams that are truly desperate for a quarterback right now. The next one's Nick Kwiatkowski. I really thought that he was going to be a trade candidate. I've said it a few times in the past building up to this spot, but with Morrow being out, White being out, and us not really hearing anything about them, I don't think it's really practical to trade him at this point. He has been playing in these games. He has made a little bit of an impact. He's very good against the run, so I'd really like to see that continue on, especially if those guys really don't have a true timetable on their return yet. So I honestly think that kind of takes him out of the trade talk for the time being. Damon Arnett is next. He's one of the players that I honestly think could be traded before this deadline if the Raiders think they're getting some kind of value out of it. I talked about it in my last video. A lot of you guys were not too nice about his trade value. He's a former first-round pick. He has battled injuries. He still has a lot of upside moving forward. I think there are a few teams that would take a look at him. I think if you could get a fourth, you end up jumping on that deal. It's just my personal opinion. I don't know if you'd get anything better. But to me, in my personal opinion, it seems like his focus is nowhere near the NFL at this point. Watching him get scorched immediately off the line sucked to see. I pretty much lost it for him right then. The last one I wanted to talk about was Farrell. You guys know I love this kid. I really think he has more upside than most players on this team. I don't know if we're ever going to get to see his full potential. I will tell you right now, if things do not change, we will probably not jump on his option, and this will be his last year with the Raiders. I know that kid's going to end up panning out somewhere. I'm really hoping that he ends up staying with us. But the fact that the Raiders have been making the phone calls about these trades, and two of the bigger ones that have been talked about are two defensive linemen, which I do not understand at all. We've all seen the weaknesses that this team does have, and that defensive line rotation is not one of them. Those dudes are playing out of their damn minds right now. And then you still have players like Vickers sitting on that back end that can work into this rotation. The fact that two of the Raiders' main phone calls have been to defensive linemen speaks volumes about Farrell, and it speaks volumes about Kuntz. Kuntz, I think they're going to let ride, give him an opportunity. A lot of people were expecting him to come on and just make an immediate impact. Dennis, I'm real sorry, but there is zero chance that dude ends up with 10 plus sacks this season, especially if he's not even active for most of these games. He's one of those players that it's just going to take a little bit more time for. Maybe next season you start to see him make more of an impact than the season after that. He's your 10 plus sack guy. He's not one of those players that's going to come in like Mad Max and immediately start to tear shit off. It's just not going to happen. But I think Farrell actually brings a decent amount of value with him. That kid is damn good against the run. He is incredibly smart to where he can learn a system pretty fast and be immediately active on somebody else's team. I've said it a million times. I want to see Farrell stay with us. I want to see him reach his full potential wearing the silver and black. That's pretty much what I have for you guys tonight. Sorry I couldn't do this live. I really wanted to. I just didn't have the time to be able to pull it off. I will hopefully be live again soon within the next few days. I don't want to make any promises because my schedule's been pretty jacked up lately. But until next time, I'm Joe Q, and we will catch you guys on the next one.